What's up, guys? So you may have noticed the channel name changed just slightly. So I kind of wanted to just let you guys know what's going on with that. So the channel name ended up changing slightly from Boosted 2K to Boosted Motorsports, and the reason being is because I felt like that channel name was a little bit irrelevant at this point. So I mean, I've had the channel since 2008, I think it was, somewhere around there. Anyways, it's been a long time. It's like 10 years. Basically, the Boosted 2K thing came from an old car that I used to have, which a lot of people actually knew me by because I built the whole car myself from completely stock. It was a Honda S2000. I was obviously a lot younger at the time, but I basically bought this car completely stock and ended up fully building the car, and it made pretty much 700 horsepower at the crank when it was all said and done. It had direct port methanol injection, a huge turbocharger on it, and it was making 607 at the wheel on pump gas and spraying 100% meth. So the car was absolutely nuts, and I'll show you a video of it right here. So basically that car was crazy, and it was a lot, but basically the engine made so much power that at that point then it needed a transmission that could handle the power. Those motors, for those of you guys that don't know, they're forged internals, so I was making 700 crank more or less, and that was a completely stock motor. I even had a spare motor sitting in my garage waiting for that one to pop, but I beat the crap out of it for probably about 3 years and still no issues. Wasn't burning any oil, and it was just taking it. So those motors are notorious for making high power, and that one did, but the problem is the rest of the chassis in the car isn't built for it. So the transmission is prone to failing, and then the rear end, the axles, the drive shaft, and I didn't want to throw another 10 grand in the car, so I ended up selling it. I wanted the Viper, and that's when the Viper kind of came up years later, and actually only a couple years later. So the reason why I changed the channel is just so that going forward from here, I can basically have different vehicles on the channel, and my channel is not specific to one, vehicle, being a vehicle that I don't even own or haven't owned for at least 5 years now. So the truck's not going anywhere anytime soon, so don't worry about that. But like I said, that the Honda S2000 is long gone, and I don't really see myself or foresee myself getting one again, unless my car, which is still running to this day and still looks identical to when I sold it to the now current owner, unless for some reason he tries to sell it back to me. Maybe I'll pick it up just because it was one of my first builds, and I should have probably kept it, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I never would have driven it. I didn't really care at the time, so no hard feelings either way. But if it came up, maybe I would get it again, and maybe it would be on the channel. But with this name, the Boosted Motorsports, it gives us a bit more flexibility to have different vehicles on the channel and not just be so directed into a car that doesn't even exist on the channel anymore. So that's the reason for the change. One other thing I just wanted to mention too, guys, is what do you guys think about me getting a Z06? I know I've said it a bunch of times before, but one actually came up that I might go check out this weekend. It's a 2008 Z06. Those years, the C6 Z06, they are from, I think, 2008 or 2007, whatever. They're kind of prone to having top ends, like head issues, where basically the valves aren't aligned with the seats, more or less, so they're not centric, and it wears out the valve guide. So there's a machining issue on some of those heads, but apparently the occurrence on it was very small, but it's kind of almost too good to pass up. So I don't think I'm gonna get rid of the Viper, but I might just have that C6 Z06 on the channel just for a year or so. We can tinker with it, play with it, and then maybe after a year I'll dump it, and maybe we'll get the C7, the newer Vet, and play with that too, and still have the truck as well. So I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and jump the gun and get the new Ram, because too many of you guys and myself have these trucks. So there's a lot of aftermarket stuff available for these trucks, and not only that, but most of you guys are running around in these 4th gens, so you guys can relate more to it. So I know maybe not everybody has the Corvette, but it's kind of a fun car to mess with, and it's pretty affordable or practical too. So at least the Corvette, I could drive it around and not worry so much, whereas the Viper, it's kind of rare. I know it's like, as far as expense, it's not an expensive car, but I just feel a little bit wrong driving the Viper and leaving it places. Plus, it's not as comfortable to drive as, say, a Vet. So I could take the Vet to work and all that kind of stuff, but it's more comfortable and I can almost daily drive that, whereas the Viper, that thing just beats you up driving it. So I love the Viper. And the other thing too, which is the most important thing I almost forgot, is that Vet, we would be doing a ton of track days in that thing, because that thing's a track monster. It's got a dry sump system on it, and it's affordable to track in my point of view, plus it'd be fun. It's fully capable. I could basically just take that car, as long as it has decent tires on it and some decent brake pads, we can go to the track and have a ton of fun. So I kind of want to do that stuff because I'm getting a little bit bored playing with all this LED stuff, or at least some sort of motorsport stuff on here, because I don't really have a car that I can take to the track right now. Like I said, I took the Viper to the track and it kind of didn't really hold its own. It started having some issues and stuff like that, and it's just too expensive to operate, and it's a little bit older at this point. So I want to get something I can actually take to the track. I might actually take this truck to the track just for fun. I know it's not gonna be that fast, but I might actually take to the drag strip this week or next week, just to see if we can tinker with some of the settings in the Diablo Sport and do a few passes and see what it does back to back, you know, with traction control turned on, with it fully disabled, stuff like that, and see if we can get a, you know, half decent time for what it's worth, or what this truck is, just for fun. But yeah, I really want to get something where we can actually do some road course stuff and we can kind of film those adventures too. But let me know, as always guys, what you guys think in the comments below, how you guys like the new channel name, how you like the banner. I'm sure you guys are probably scratching your heads for a while why it said Boosted 2K and what that meant. It standing for Boosted S2000, Boosted 2K. So that's basically where that name came from, but that's why I kind of moved on. And let me know what you guys think. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.